In the last episode, I had put this rectangle together and was in the process of lifting it up to level. As you can see, I've stacked up several cutoffs there to bring all my corners up level. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take these out. You can also see where I've screwed 2x6 up to where it holds it pretty much in place so that I could remove all those cutoffs. And what I'm going to do now is put those corner posts in. That back rail or joist is very important that it is put into a just stationary. So what I'm going to do today, put in all my posts, and then I'm going to pour my concrete around the post so that that back rail can no longer move at all. And then what I'll do is a section at a time, I'll put my 4x8 sheets of plywood down and use them to square the bottom up with, the rectangle with. That way I'll be as square as the plywood is. So what I'm doing is I'm just continuing to make sure everything's level and using my clamps to hold it in place until I can get the screws in. Making sure we're plumb. You want those posts to be straight up and down with gravity so that they don't lean sideways over time. And what I'm doing now is marking off 4-foot centers because I'm going to put a post every 4 feet. You've probably noticed Bella running around out there. She's my inspector. Once it passes her inspection, then I can move on to the next post. What I did is I went and got my speed square so that I can draw a perpendicular line to the top of that rail or joist, because that is perpendicular. So when I lay my 4x4 up against it, I make sure it matches that line. That way I'm about as straight up and down as I'm going to get. And what I would do is I would dig down as far as the earth would let me, and then I used a 3 or 4 pound hammer to tamp that down as good as I could, then put my screws in. So we got 2 more posts we've got to put in. Oh, I wish I could move that fast in real time. Yeah. It is so much slower than that. But we get it done, just one post at a time. Dig one hole at a time. All right. Putting in that last post now. On the back side. Now we got to pour some concrete around those posts. And then that'll make them stationary. They won't be able to move after that. Then I can manipulate the rest of the square and bring it into square with the plywood when I put the plywood on there. In the next episode, we'll start putting on some plywood. What I did is I wound up doing this one section of plywood at a time, and that way I could keep it square and level all the way toward the front. And it worked really good. The plywood went down with the cracks are just very minimal between the pieces of plywood. Fit really nice. Working with one person, if I had tried to square all of that ahead of time and then poured all my posts, I doubt I would have gotten it as square as I wound up getting it using the method I did. It's a whole lot different when you got a crew and you got 4 or 5 people, and you can have one person on one end of the 2x4 or 2x6 and another one on the other end and stuff like that. I have to use a lot of tricks by myself, like stacking it up on the cutoffs and everything to get it level. But I did get it level. I mean, I expect you could put a marble on it and it would stay in one place. And I'll wind up with so many posts, there'll be a lot of teeth in the ground, so to speak. You can also see now how unleveled the ground is. That back right post is the shortest one, and all the others got longer real quick. I think the front post is about 5 or 6 feet off the ground. In fact, the post I'm working on right now there is probably 3 feet off the ground. Almost. This little cement mixer was it was a lifesaver, or a back saver. It did most of the work. The hardest thing about it is just getting all of the stuff kicked off of the walls to drop on down and mix into the water. I didn't want to make my concrete too soupy. The soupier you make it, I'm told, the weaker the concrete is. I don't know if that's true or not, but I know the people who bring it in have it pretty soupy. But we're finished up now, so I'm cleaning up, getting ready for tomorrow's work, and the next episode we'll start putting down the plywood. Thanks for watching.